So I just recently finished rewatching the Dark Knight Trilogy, and I am genuinely so gosh dang mad right now. It is like unreal. The Dark Knight Trilogy is maybe just plain and simple, I do not care, maybe the greatest movie trilogy of all time, of any trilogy ever, and I am not being dramatic. I am not trying to, just say this to get clicks. I'm genuinely being so for real right now. Most of the time I try to talk about anime on my YouTube channel, but at this point I'm so gosh dang pissed at how good this trilogy is. I genuinely just need to make a video about it because it's so freaking good. It genuinely is just unreal, bro. I genuinely don't know how they made such a good trilogy. Christopher Nolan manages to make such a compelling Batman with this trilogy, and he does so by making amazing writing, having amazing choreography, and blending it all together with this dark and gritty tone in the Dark Knight Trilogy. It's truly something that I have never seen before, but yet he makes it work so well. I cannot believe we haven't gotten anything good like this. This trilogy, the worst movie from this trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, is unironically better than any Marvel movie released after Spider-Man No Way Home. What are we doing, Marvel? How have you not managed to top this yet? I don't even know if Infinity War is able to top The Dark Knight, because The Dark Knight is maybe the greatest movie I have ever seen. Let's go through this one-on-one. Okay, Batman Begins is the start of the trilogy. It's really solid. It has a ton of great characters that are introduced. Christian Bale's Batman is fantastic. It pops. He's amazing. Alfred in this movie is my favorite Alfred actor of all time. He is so good. The British accent is amazing. All in all, 10 out of 10 Alfred actor. No complaints for me here. The villain of this movie, or the villains, Legion of Shadows, Scarecrow, Ra's al Ghul, all are really cool in their own unique way. Scarecrow is the most intimidating he is throughout the three movies, throughout the entire trilogy. Scarecrow is the only villain in this entire trilogy that shows up in all three movies. That is actually so crazy. I don't understand how one of my least favorite villains of the trilogy manages to make it into all three movies. But I don't really care because of how good Christopher Nolan made this trilogy. Ra's al Ghul's actor, I can't for the life of me name his actor, but I do know that he's awesome. I like Batman's relationships in this movie with Commissioner Gordon and Rachel and Alfred. It's all very heartwarming and touching. This Batman movie doesn't start in Gotham City necessarily, other than, the flashback with us seeing Bruce as a child, but other than that, it starts out in like a whole other country. Bruce is like he's living the nomadic lifestyle. It's very cool. It's very interesting. Then he trains under the Legion of Shadows, learns how to fight properly. Ra's al Ghul is pretty much his mentor, and then towards the end, he has to kill somebody, which this is the start of Batman's no-kill policy. And then he doesn't kill him. He goes against the Legion of Shadows, runs away, and he actually results in saving Ra's al Ghul's life. It's very interesting. I really like the opening part of this. Then when Bruce comes back, he learns just how corrupt Gotham truly is. And it is very interesting, and we see a lot of corruption and stuff, and that's probably my favorite thing about the Dark Knight Trilogy, other than the S-tier villains and Christian Bale's Batman. 100% my favorite thing about the Dark Knight Trilogy is how corrupt Gotham is. You watch, especially in the first two movies, in Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, Gotham is corrupt to almost beyond repair. The whole thing about the three movies is the villains think Gotham is too far from saving, but Batman and his allies believe that it's not. The whole movie is pretty much these villains challenging Batman's beliefs to a unprecedented level. It's amazing. And towards the end of the first movie, he ends up fighting Ra's al Ghul one last time on a train. He doesn't technically break his no-kill policy, but he does in fact make it to where Ra's al Ghul does die. Batman just doesn't kill him. It's interesting because one of my favorite things about Ra's al Ghul is that he's the Legion of Shadows, the dude that he's in charge of, but the Legion of Shadows made freaking Constantinople collapse. They have been working to collapse, corrupt, and just cities that they believe are too far from saving, and Gotham is one of them. And back in the past, in the year 1200 something, I don't remember when, they freaking made Constantinople break down, which is insane, dude. But yeah, by the end, a really important thing happens where Rachel pretty much tells Batman they can't be together, because she tells Bruce that, you know, the time where Gotham no longer needs Batman is the time they can be together, which is very important in the second movie. Now it's time to talk about maybe my favorite movie of all time, The Dark Knight. Dark Knight is a 12 out of 10 movie. I can't even begin to describe how freaking peak this movie is. The dark and gritty tone from Batman Begins is set in The Dark Knight, and it's like times 10. The Dark Knight is way less hopeful and way more darker and grittier, and it's just amazing. I love it. Main two villains of this movie are Harvey Dent, aka Scarecrow, Heath Ledger's Joker. Let's talk about Harvey Dent first. He is the second best villain in the entire trilogy. Like, Harvey Dent is amazing because he starts out in the movie as the good guy, and for the first hour and 20 minutes of the movie, he's the good guy. He works with Batman and Commissioner Gordon. He is a force for good. He is what Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne wants Batman to be. But he's legal Batman. He's stopping these crimes. And it's so fascinating. But what's even more fascinating is that the best villain in this entire trilogy flips his worldview upside down towards the second half, and he becomes Two-Face. It's awesome. It's amazing. It has such great writing. I can't even describe it. Now, the best movie villain of all time is Heath Ledger's Joker. I will not hear it. Thanos, who? Okay, Thanos is the second best movie villain of all time. I will stand by that. But mother freaking Heath Ledger's Joker is by far the greatest movie villain of all time. His writing is so complex. I don't even know how to describe it. That's how good his writing is. It's so complex, and this comes from someone who pretty much knows almost everything about the One Piece storyline. Heath Ledger's Joker is just such a complex character, and it's so great to see it. It's so interesting, it's unique, he has so many, like, layers to his character. Christopher Nolan bring him to life with this movie. Don't understand how the heck you can write such a great villain. I haven't even, like, really described him. I've just been saying that he has layers to his character that you need. Like, you haven't watched The Dark Knight, bro? You will, like, be, like, utterly shocked because Joker in this movie, he's not like any other Joker we have ever seen before. R.I.P. to Heath Ledger, because he didn't even get to see this movie because he was so dedicated to this role that he ultimately ended up dying because the role was so extreme on him. In the end, we got to see this masterpiece of a movie, so I'm so grateful for Heath Ledger and what he was able to do. I personally believe The Dark Knight is just the best movie of all time right now because it's 2 hours and 30 minutes, and for that runtime, you get the greatest story ever told in Gotham City, where it has so much depth to it. We're trying to stop Joker while also stopping the mob bosses. We're having these internal conflicts. Batman's having this internal conflict on whether or not he needs to give up the mask or not. In the end, he doesn't. And at the end with Joker, and the final fight with Joker is very awesome. I loved it. I thought it was so entertaining. But then towards the end of the movie, I'm gonna say spoilers here. I know I spoiled Batman Begins, but genuinely, you need to watch this movie. So The Dark Knight is a masterpiece. You need to watch it. Pretty much towards the end of the movie, Harvey is now a bad guy, and he holds Commissioner Gordon's son at gunpoint. And Harvey has done some crazy things. He has shot a bunch of people, pretty much going against what he stood for, because Rachel died. And at the end of the movie, he ends up shooting Batman, which is gonna be the reason why in the third movie, Batman is limping. But before Harvey can shoot Gordon's son, Batman jumps Harvey, and throws Harvey off of a very high building, because they were in a burnt building and there was multiple stories, and then Harvey ended up, fall damage was not enabled, so Harvey died. Batman saves Gordon's child. Batman ends up falling, but Batman has his cape, which is pretty much makes him immune to fall damage. And pretty much towards the end, Batman pretty much knows that Joker can't win, because because the Joker technically does win. He made Harvey, Gotham's best person at the time, go against his morals. So Batman pretty much decides he's gonna take the blame for everything, and then now everyone except Gordon and Gordon's son pretty much think Batman killed Harvey Dent. He also killed 5 people. Like, they believe Batman is a vicious murderer. Harvey is the hero Gotham needs, but they don't deserve. Towards the end of the movie, Batman becomes the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one they need right now. And it's amazing. I think it's a fantastic ending. Personally, this is like my favorite movie ending ever, because it's so amazing and it's so great. I'm not gonna spend any more time on The Dark Knight. I'm gonna move on, because The Dark Knight is genuinely a masterpiece and people need to go see it. We have Dark Knight Rises, which The Dark Knight Rises is the worst movie of the trilogy in my opinion, but it is still unironically better than almost any other Batman movie in my opinion. I think it outdoes the newest Batman. I think it outdoes the older Batman movies. So I personally really dig The Dark Knight Rises, even though it's a movie with flaws, unlike Dark Knight and Batman Begins. Personally, the movie I think Bane is a fantastic villain. I think personally, he had so much aura for most of the movie, and then at the end, I think it's a little questionable what they did, because I think that making whoever her name was, the British girl, I don't remember her name, making her the twist villain, I wasn't a big fan of it. I just was hoping Batman would just beat Bane. No, not really. That's not what happened. My biggest complaint with this movie, honestly, is just the fact that Batman doesn't beat Bane in a fist fight. Batman had it. Like, he could have 100% beaten Bane, but he doesn't. Like, he gets tied around because we have this stupid twist villain, and then after, it's just like, Catwoman comes, blows Bane's head off, and then we're like, okay, let's go save the world. I think that's interesting, but I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's fine, but I'm also not a big fan of it. Didn't really care for the twist villain. What I did care for is how this movie gets Batman back in the hero position, because Batman Begins is all about Gordon's story. Dark Knight is about how Batman needs to take the blame for things and become the villain. The Dark Knight Rises is about Batman rising up and becoming the hero Gotham deserves. I think that's amazing. It's still definitely the worst of the trilogy. And I think that it is executed phenomenally in this movie, with Batman getting back in the game, him getting his leg repaired, Batman, fighting once again. him and Alfred kind of have a falling off in this movie, and it's like really sad. This movie, all in all, is fantastic. It's a great Batman movie. Seeing Batman getting pummeled by Bane, like Batman losing to Bane, which is something he hasn't lost to a villain in this movie, technically, in a fist fight. He hasn't lost to the villains in a fist fight. This one, it's like Batman's broken physically. The whole thing about Bane is that he wanted to break Batman's spirit and just break his body, and he only really breaks his body. Towards the end of the movie, Bruce ends up having to climb out of a pit, because he was trapped in it. And what they're chanting, it's awesome, because what they chant whenever whenever somebody tries to climb out, they chant "Rise," which is amazing, because the movie is called The Dark Knight Rises. Bruce ends up rising out of that pit, and he ends up going back to Gotham. Bane has a bomb and everything. Bane's gonna nuke Gotham. But the best part, I know this is a pretty, maybe a controversial take. I think personally, maybe the best part of this movie, other than Bane absolutely beating the brakes off Batman, was 100% Batman's final sacrifice. Whenever Bruce takes the bomb, flies off into the ocean away from Gotham, and then the bomb blows up, and we are under the impression that Bruce died. And we don't really know. It Rises has a very subtle conclusion with Bruce, Batman explodes, and people all over Gotham finally see Batman for the hero he truly was. They build memorials for him. They believe that he was a good guy, and they also believe he's dead. Then at the end of the movie, which is a very amazing conclusion, Alfred goes to a cafe where Alfred said that 7 years ago, whenever Bruce was trading with Ra's al Ghul, he would go there and he would picture Bruce sitting at a table with a wife. And towards the end of the movie, or at the end of the movie, Alfred sits down at that same cafe, looks over, and sees Bruce with Selena Kyle. And I really do dig that ending. But it's kind of hinted at that maybe Alfred was just, coping. Alfred might have been coping, but he also could very well have not been coping. That could have been Bruce. Bruce could have been there. Bruce could have been alive the whole time. I'm kind of hoping he didn't die, because honestly, I'm just someone who doesn't want Batman to die. But at the same time, it would be very dark and also very awesome if this was Batman's final sacrifice. So, with all that being said, I personally love the Dark Knight Trilogy. The Dark Knight Trilogy is in the Hall of Fame of superhero movies, or of superhero trilogies, of movie trilogies, of anything. This is up there with probably top tiers like Star Wars prequel trilogy and Lord of the Rings. This trilogy, in my opinion, is better than those. The Dark Knight Trilogy is a fantastic trilogy that is damn near perfect. Never seen a trilogy that I thought was better than The Dark Knight. Batman Begins is a solid start. I'd rate it a 9 out of 10. Dark Knight is the perfect superhero movie. The perfect movie. Everything. Give it like a 20 out of 10. Dark Knight Rises, my least favorite, but I still really dig what it stands for and what it wanted to do. I think it was great. So I'm gonna give it a 8.5. All in all, Dark Knight Trilogy, probably about a 9.5 out of 10 or something, because this trilogy is like dang near perfect. I don't understand how we can't make a movie trilogy this good anymore. We never will have a Dark Knight again. And I'm really happy for what Christopher Nolan tried to do. Maybe we could get a Dark Knight Returns, but like a live action and not the animated movie that's not even connected to this universe. And hopefully we get some closure for what actually happened. I don't think we will, because this movie came out over a decade ago. Like, the Dark Knight Rises came out over a decade ago. But it came out when I was 2. 2012 came out when I was 2. It's fantastic, in my opinion. Fantastic trilogy. And that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.